Hello and welcome back to Inside Out with Chris. Today I am talking into a very, very powerful and potent quote that I downloaded a little while ago and it has stuck. And that is, there is never failure, only feedback. And what I want to share in this light around this quote is something that I'm experiencing with a lot of clients and including myself around failure. Now, something that some of you may or may not have heard about is the 75 hard challenge. It is a challenge of mental toughness. It is something that they have stripped right back to being basic things that you need to do over a 75-day period, which looks like all the things right here that my videographer is going to pop up and pop in. But for those that are listening in their ears, it's a gallon of water. It's going to be 2 45-minute workouts, one outside. It looks like a diet, no alcohol, and following through on this for 75 days, along with 10 pages of a book and a progress pic every day. Now, for some people, that's super realistic. For some people, that's super sustainable. And for some people, they're already fucking doing it, right? They're just turning up the dial a little bit in that area of their health. But for me, it was so unrealistic for me to set aside 2 workouts a day, 7 days a week. Some days I might be able to achieve it, right? If I've got my kids in daycare and a client cancels and I can get out for that second walk, but it's like not every day. And then I was finding myself in that wheel, right? That hamster wheel of, oh, I'm failing it. Oh, I didn't get this right too. So I want you to drop in here and notice how sometimes you actually set yourself up for failure. You're sabotaging your goals by setting yourself to an unrealistic standard of where you currently are in regards to what's actually achievable for you in your life right now. So with 75 hard, a client actually brought this up with me last week. She was wanting to start it. She's wanted to start it for a while. And I just simply pre-framed it to her. Whilst I believe that anyone can do it if they really want to do it, I did simply pre-frame, like, I want you to be really radically honest with yourself over the next couple of days if this works for you and if you feel good about it. So sometimes I talk about stretching yourself in your comfort zone and stretching that bubble and just pushing outside that bubble, right? Like stretch yourself outside of it to notice where you can meet your edges. And what can come up in when you stretch yourself is there's actually the resistance of, oh, well, I'm not going to achieve it, or I'm going to get it wrong. And those limiting beliefs around fear of failure and things come up, right? But what I want you to notice in terms of 75 hard is when you stretch yourself to the edge of what you currently do as opposed to something that you haven't done before, are you feeling depleted? Are you feeling tapped out? Are you feeling like you're failing something and it is actually an unachievable standard for you to hold yourself accountable to? If you've got no kids, no business, you work from home, maybe this could work for you, right? And there's a lot of people it is working for. But what I wanted to share with you and why I wanted to share this experience is because for my client, after a couple of days, she was like, I don't think this is for me. I'm actually getting super angry with myself because I'm trying to find the time to go for a walk outside this afternoon and I actually have so much to do and I'm going to fall behind on all the other things I have to do. Like, why am I actually wanting to do this? For what purpose is this going to serve the future me, right? By simply sticking to this to show myself I can, or am I doing it to meet the standard of, well, society's doing it, right? Other people are doing it. All these powerhouses are doing it. People with kids are doing it. People who said that they don't have time to exercise and now making time for 90 minutes a day. So dropping into that a little bit more, it looks like working out what actually fucking feels congruent and there's clarity in for you. And if you're experiencing that right now in terms of your health goals or your relationships or your finances or whatever area of your life, if you're experiencing there's resistance in meeting the edge, right? Actually look at the resistance. Is the resistance a comfort thing, or is the resistance a dysregulating thing, or is the resistance simply an unrealistic standard you're holding it to yourself? And make that call. And that immediate first thing, that first answer that drops into your mind on that thing that you're doing right now, that's your answer. So that our unconscious mind, we operate from there 95% of the time, right? So when we think something, that direct thought, that's your unconscious giving you an answer before your conscious mind has the chance to logically take control. So I want you to ask yourself that question, right? And see what comes up around that. For me, I really wanted to know that I could achieve something outside of what I was currently doing. And that sense of failure that I experienced in that has really re-ingrained or re-embedded that quote of there is never failure, there's only feedback. And I really want to share that with you because the feedback that I have for myself is I do not choose to set myself unrealistic standards. I do not choose to live in a world where I can't have the things I want and I can't do the things that I want to do at any given moment. I don't choose to live in a world where I'm doing something because other people are doing it, and because they're having success, I expect myself to have success in that. And in particular, in my health. So if you are someone that is wanting to try 75 hard, I would like to challenge you and invite you to explore your why. Why do you actually want to do it? Is it because other people are being successful in it? Is it because you want to make changes in your healthy lifestyle and you feel like this is a realistic challenge for you? Or is it because you actually want to sabotage yourself and you know that it's probably a stretch and you know it's probably an unrealistic standard that you're holding on yourself to achieve something, so that you can sit in that failure, sit in that I'm not good enough, sit in that unworthiness piece. If it is around failure and if it is around worthiness, come back to what's going to work for you. Could you do 75 hard and simply do one 45-minute workout? And can you not make it your own? Can it be that there is some benefits to doing something consistently for 75 days? Absolutely. But can you make it your own? And does it need to be that standard of someone who has all the time in the world? Probably not. So after all that blabble, I hope it's something landed and dropped in for you. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode. It was short and spicy as always. That is the season of Inside Out. And if you enjoyed it, please let me know. Hit subscribe on YouTube and hit follow on Apple and Spotify. And I will see you next week.